Hey gang, Chonky here. Pardon the extremely messy mullet. I just woke up a little bit ago and wanted to record this for you guys. Uh, also, uh, for those of you guys who don't like it, I'm sorry about the Skull Island Rise of Kong videos. I know that game is awful and a huge meme, and the internet is tearing it apart right now. But the fact that I was able to beat it in like 5 hours, I just wanted to upload it and share it with you guys, and that way that you guys wouldn't have to play it. I think it was it felt weirdly nostalgic, in how it played. It was very much like a early PS2 feel to it. But anyway, that's not the point of today's video. Is to just talk about Skull Island Rise of Kong. Today I wanted to talk about the Pious set for the Cleric. Now I did not like this set when it was first introduced back with the Icy Depths because the whole concept of it, I'll show you guys. The whole concept of it is that it turns Smite, which is a cleric ranged auto attack, into a melee attack that can now cleave through people. And it sounds interesting on paper, but I wasn't a big fan because it makes your attack so slow that it's like near impossible to weave it into your rotation and still effectively deal damage over time. But with the super awesome mega patch and how we got our new class abilities, I think the Pious set has a little bit more of an opportunity to shine, whereas before it just had I had no want to use the Pious set at all. But the reason why I think it actually is decent now is because this will work with the new skills. So with the introduction of the super awesome mega patch, there was a change to the weapon specializations in the cleric. If you have a two-handed weapon, half of your spell power is converted into melee power. So you can see just oh, here, let me take off. Yeah, okay. So you can see right here with my base armor, I have almost 6k melee power. And this is helpful because it does buff your abilities. And the reason they did this is because the new moves, Arbiter's Fury and Justice Strike, they all scale off of physical damage. Justice Strike has a little bit of holy damage thrown in there as well. But the primary thing that we're focusing on is the physical damage that Arbiter's Fury and Justice Strike do. So before, you didn't get any melee power, but now you generate a little bit just by building spell power. And then if you build into the Pious set, you transfer 75% of your spell power into melee power, ultimately giving you 125% of your spell power as melee power, which means you're going to have way more melee than spell, which I think is really cool. And so when I saw this, I thought, well, maybe the Pious set will be useful, and I wanted to give it a shot. And honestly, I still think that you're better off using not the Pious set. But here, let's do some testing. But yeah, let's do some testing real quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna demonstrate how it feels on that out. Okay. So now I have my regular attacks. Perfect. So we pop the spell potion and do some damage. We're just gonna go to 5 million, see how long it takes. Okay, so I wasn't timing it myself personally, but it didn't seem too bad. I'm sure I'll throw up a timer or something. Now, switching over to this, you saw how fast I was attacking before, and with my character having an 120% attack speed, this is how slow I attack. Still pretty slow. You have the same combo as the champion using the maul. But what is nice is that your auto attacks... Oh, here, let me... So if I use both the spell potion and the melee potion, you'll see that I have 21,500 melee power. That is a lot melee power. And even with this, okay, let me... I rearranged my skill bar a little bit so that I could have Justice Strike. Which, by the way, as my left click, they changed Justice Strike to give it a little bit more range. Now you can hit from what I think is an acceptable range. Before you had to be like right here. You had to be like this close to them. Which is kind of annoying when you're, you know, trying to run through a dungeon and it's like, oh, well, I need to heal. Which, honestly, here, let me talk about something else that I don't think is very right about Justice Strike. I don't think the heal is worth it. Because it says it heals for 2% of the damage done. And I don't know if maybe my math is bad or maybe we just need a bigger heal. But like, you know, if I were to hit them, you can't even see the health gain. Yeah, I gained like, it looked like I gained like 150 HP right there, which I think that needs to be touched on. If I'm having 16,000 HP and I'm fighting someone like Malorath who will, you know, do like 10,000 damage in a hit, healing for 150 against 10,000 is not worth it. But, in general, I think Justice Strike does okay damage. Like right there, I've done 200,000 damage in 2 separate casts of Justice Strike, which is decent. I like that. That's, you know, the damage seems to do okay for how much melee power and spell power I have. It's just that the heal itself leaves a lot to be desired. So maybe if they turn that up to like a 10% heal, so instead of 150 HP, I'm healing for like 700. I don't know. But if I could heal for a couple thousand from casting Justice Strike, I think that would make it shine a lot more. But I mainly wanted to do a damage test. So we're going to let the HP reset, and then we'll... Okay. So you can see that, like, my moves are still hitting decently powerful enough. But because my attack speed is so low, it doesn't feel like I have, like, a proper rotation to go through. I'm sure I'm just hating on it, and the damage is better than I'm giving it credit for. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this recording and run the numbers. So I just went back and watched the recording, and I saw that without using the Pious Set, I did 5 million damage in about 36 seconds. And using the Pious Set, I was able to do the same amount of damage in about 43 seconds. I know that my skill rotation could use some work with the Pious Set because I'm still not used to how slow it moves. But it actually appears to, you know, be not too bad in terms of damage behind the non-Pious Set. I think it's just so slow and clunky. That's why it feels so off-putting, at least for me, when I use it. I was testing it earlier against Malorath, and it actually wasn't too bad. So if you guys want to see, I'll show you what it looks like when you're actually fighting the current hardest boss in the game. This on here. Gotta make sure I don't get rid of my amulet. I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna test our damage against Malorath. Most of our damage is going to be coming from Arbiter's Fury, but it's still going to be a little tough to fight him.
Tremble in the presence of Malorath. None shall iterate wind while I live. So come, mortals, and meet your end. You are weak and feeble.
Oh, yeah. Well, not one. Did a lot of damage. So like I said, yeah, the heal from Justice Strike, you can't really even tell it's there. It only heals me for like 150. But I did test it on Malorath earlier, and I was able to beat him. It just did take me forever, because you have to, the only effective moves in terms of damage are Arbiter's Fury. You can use your other spells like Holy Light and Exorcism, and they still do like just as good a damage when you were not using the Pious Set. And I feel that using the non-Pious Set with the Cleric just makes everything flow together so much easier, because you can stay at a safe distance and still fire off all your spells and buff your team. I don't know. I feel like the Pious Set isn't necessarily worth it. I know that the Rage Wind set, without going into detail, because I don't want to spoil things for you guys, I know that the Rage Wind set for the Cleric is going to utilize another form of the Pious Set, where you're going to have like a melee smite, and it looks way better in terms of how the skills flow together. There's a lot more synergy with things, without going into detail, because no spoilers for you guys. This Rage Wind's going to be fucking awesome. But as it is right now, I don't think the Pious Set is worth it, unfortunately. I mean, if you like it, use it. Don't let my yuck ruin your yum. I think it's a really cool idea on paper. It's just not executed to my liking. But it's now viable. I mean, we saw in the damage test that the Pious Set, if you're using, both potions, the Pious Set is not too far behind the regular set. And maybe even it surpasses it. If you guys do some testing and figure out something that I don't know, let me know in the comments. But I would love to have somebody humble me on the Pious Set and show me the way it's supposed to be used, as opposed to the way I'm using it, if I'm using it incorrectly. But yeah, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the Pious Set. I feel like this is the most unique elite set in the game currently, because it completely changes the fundamental of one of the classes. There's no other set that does something like this yet for another class. So I don't know. I like the idea. I don't like the execution, but I'm really looking forward to Rage Wind, because I think that execution is going to be much better. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and see you next time. I'm laughing because I know that after this I'm going to be releasing more Rise of Kong in the Skull Island videos, and I'm sure you guys absolutely love Skull Island. But that game is such a meme. I actually really enjoyed it. It was only like 5 hours to beat the story, and it was a blast in a sense. Like it's so bad it was kind of good. But anyway, guys, I'll be back with more Dungeons content soon. See ya.